This is my recap of the anime build divide part 2. If you haven't watched the previous part, please check it out in the video description below. After seeing Teruto's victory against Kaizen, Sakura and Hayuri plan to go to the sea. The place they want to visit is not a real ocean, but rather a place built with very sophisticated technology. Then, after arriving at her destination, Sakura met the idol, who would be performing at that place. But because Sakura didn't realize the idol was angry with her, she said Sakura was very annoying and then left. When they played on the beach, Sakura wanted to leave first because she felt cold. Then suddenly, the idol who had met Sakura appeared near them. The idol was named Maharu. Even though it looks amazing, there is one fan who speaks too much. This makes Maharu annoyed and decides to look for a new, calming atmosphere. After the concert ended, Maharu planned to buy the limited drinks, but it turned out that Sakura also planned to buy these drinks. Because they only had one order left, and neither of them wanted to budge, their fight could not be avoided. In the build-divide battle, Sakura starts by summoning Iola. Meanwhile, Maharu uses a card to summon a skeleton servant. Maharu's first attack caused Sakura to lose 2 life points. Then, to respond to her attack, Sakura paralyzed Maharu's attack unit. After arguing about the idol, they believe in Sakura awakens the Iron Fortress area so she can attack with increased power. While the battle was going on, Maharu felt that Sakura's wailing seemed to be belittling her. While being angry, Maharu tried to resurrect the area called the Devil's Castle, then attacked with various strange units that looked disgusting. During the fight, the reason why Maharu doesn't like Sakura is also revealed. It turns out that all this time Sakura has had the look of someone who always looks down on her. Therefore, with uncontrollable anger, Maharu attacks Sakura continuously. Even though her life points were running low, Sakura remained calm because she had seen the path to victory. The next day, Teruto met the owner of the bakery. He visited him because since he was little, he often ate bread at that place. It is said that in the past, Teruto and his younger sister often stopped by that place. They helped make bread and then played cards while waiting for the bread to be ready to eat. Initially, Teruto was very good at playing cards. Teruto also always taught Kika, who didn't understand how to play, but this daily life didn't last long because they had to separate due to family reasons. Then, after visiting the bakery, Teruto meets Ishinome. Ishinome uses her powers to restore Teruto's memories. Teruto regains his memories of playing cards with his younger sister. At first, he often taught his little sister and then won the game. But after his little sister understood how to play, he had a really hard time facing her, because his little sister became very strong and hard to beat. Kika was very happy because he could beat his older sister, while Teruto looked annoyed and distanced himself from his younger sister. Kika came to Teruto and wanted to invite him to play again, while his older brother didn't want to play. Together with his younger sister, Kika repeatedly called his older sister's name, but Teruto no longer paid attention. Apart from that, because there was a problem with their parents, it wouldn't be long before the two of them separated. Before parting ways with her sister, Kika spoke again with Teruto. Then for the last time, Kika begged her sister to play again. Because he couldn't stand seeing his little sister always crying, Teruto would obey her to make Kika happy. But the next day, all the cards owned by Kika could not be found, because all his cards were hidden by Teruto. This is where Kika started to become stronger than anyone else, and in the end, he became king in the hope of being able to meet his older brother again. After gaining memories of his past, Teruto became more eager to challenge the king again. He wanted to meet his younger sister not because he hated her, but wanted to apologize for all the mistakes in the past. Before that, Teruto will fight against the strongest challenger, even though his opponent looks like a child but cannot be underestimated. Sakura said that they both needed one more key chip, so they could know how many battles they had won. The last challenger was named Mikhail Psyche. When he met Hayuri, he immediately liked her and would ask her out on a date if he was the winner. But Hayuri refused because she already liked someone. After that, the battle between the strongest challengers began. After the protective wall was activated, they both risked everything for one fight. Then Mikhail summoned a warrior-type unit and a snow-lava domain, after which Mikhail attacked the Teruto unit with the upgraded cards. Mikhail's attack defeated Teruto's strongest unit. He also saved enough energy for the next attack. After being resurrected, Teruto used a card to increase his strength. Even though he only had 1 life left, he still had a way to penetrate his opponent's combat power. By using the method he believes in, Teruto attacks and wins the fight. Thus, he is entitled to get all the chips at stake. Because the amount was sufficient, all the key chips he had immediately turned into keys that could be used to open the gate to the king's place. Teruto already had the opportunity to go to meet his younger sister, but he couldn't do it because the key to meeting the king was taken by Sakura. From the start, Sakura accompanied him because she intended to use the key to make her wish come true, namely to become a challenger to the king to reclaim her body. When Sakura faced the king, Teruto and his friends intended to stop her, while Sakura was serious in her fight against the king. He attacked Kika using a unit called Iola. Then when Kika had 3 life points remaining, Kika started to seriously use the strong cards he had. This resulted in Sakura losing all her units until she fell from her own area, but because she still had enough life points, Sakura thought that she could still survive. At the same time, Teruto and his friends had arrived in front of the king's place, but they couldn't do anything because they didn't have the key to enter it. In front of the gate, Teruto tried to find a way to enter. He had to stop the fight because he knew that the fight could not grant wishes. In the midst of the battle, Kika said that Sakura was a doll that would one day disappear by itself. Even though Sakura managed to defeat the king, she couldn't get a perfect body, because from the start Sakura was born imperfect, and she was created from the remains of Kika. In another place, Teruto had run out of ways to meet the king. At that moment, Ishinome came to him. Apart from coming to him, he also offered to help him to get him to the king's place. That way Teruto and his friends could enter the fighting area, but when Teruto met Sakura, he couldn't stop the fight. In the end, they had to lose Sakura, because she fought until the end until she disappeared due to being defeated by the king. In this way, Kika regained half of his body and gained an unlimited amount of power. After Sakura was defeated, Teruto challenged Kika to a fight, but this time the fight was not related to fighting for the throne but rather their fight as brothers. Before the final battle begins, the truth is told about the world they have been living in. In fact, Teruto was once a participant in the Build Divide battle, but after defeating the king he woke up in a large facility located on the island of Kyoto. While Neo Kyoto is a virtual world that connects everyone who fell asleep in the outside world, when he was in the outside world the only activity he did was play cards, so one day he decided to return to Neo Kyoto, because the previous king was about to carry out a criminal plan. Apart from that, he also saw the main server running the Neo Kyoto system. The main server charged everything to his younger sister. After Kika succeeded in defeating the king, his wish was not granted, but instead he was treated badly and inhumanely. To maintain the balance of Neo Kyoto, the system that forms life is charged to Kika's body. Therefore, to save his younger sister, Teruto went back to Neo Kyoto, but to reduce the burden on his memory, most of Teruto's memories could not be preserved. The second battle between Teruto and the king has begun. Kika looks very happy, because finally he can fight with Teruto. Then, when his turn comes, Teruto awakens the territory. Using the Soul Gambler unit, he activates a new territory called the Tower of Trials. After that, he increases the cards in his hand and the cards in his grave. Kika responded by summoning the Goddess of Justice and awakening a domain called the Cursed Stele. When his turn came again, Teruto used several cards at once, then used them to attack the unit and attack its owner. While calling another unit, Kika said that he really liked the battle with his brother. He hoped that this happiness would never end, but because no meeting was eternal, Kika said that this battle would be Teruto's last. When the winner is determined, Teruto will be one with himself. Even though Teruto's existence will disappear, Kika says he won't be lonely because his brother will always live inside him. At the last moment, Teruto apologized to Kika, not caring about his status as king. Teruto admitted that all this happened because of his fault. He didn't want to face it because he realized his weakness. Kika always thought that Teruto was very strong, but in reality Teruto was very weak. If only at that time he could face his weakness, something like this would never have happened. When he was little, Teruto was very jealous of his younger sister's talent. Teruto said that Kika was very strong. She could suppress her emotions and fight enemies alone, whereas he couldn't do the same, so since then he always ran away, but now he doesn't. Will run away again. For the sake of both of them, they will automatically accept all their weaknesses. After telling everything to his little sister, the 4 units that had just been summoned by Kika were immediately defeated because he was serious about facing Kika and was trying hard to find an opening to attack. When he saw his older brother being serious about fighting, Kika felt very happy. He remembered back to the times when they still got along. Because he was serious, Kika also took him seriously. He then summons units to be used as bait and then uses the ability to increase his strength points. During Teruto's turn, he raises units from the darkness to attack all of his sister's units and life points, so that Teruto has a chance to win in the next turn. However, it seemed that Kika could still survive. Kika continued to attack until the end so that their position became equal. But in the end, Teruto pulled out a card that he had been keeping. Kika's card, which he had previously hidden, turned out to be able to lead him to victory. After winning the battle, Teruto was going to return his sister's card, but he didn't have the chance because an unexpected situation occurred that separated everyone. This is the end of Build Divide Part 2. Thank you very much for staying on this channel and watching our videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can keep you up to date with our latest content. See you in the next video.